everybody. Welcome to this segment of AKT Celebrity Reads. I have a special guest for you. Renaldo Senior's sister is here, and I'm going to let her tell you in her own words about what she knows about Ugly God and his experience with her brother, Renaldo Jr., Renaldo Sr. So, Renaldo Jr. will be her nephew, Renaldo Sr. is her brother, and what happened to him. She heard me yesterday during the reading, and I reached out to her and I told her she's more than welcome to use the reading and pass it around wherever she wants, however she wants to use it is fine with me. And I asked would she come on, and it's a pleasure to have her here. So she's going to be here in a minute. She just wanted to have her support and let people know she's going to be here, so they could come over here and support her. And I know my audience supports her from the way y'all treated her and sent love to her yesterday. I love it. So let me see. This might be her coming on. I'm so excited.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
I'm
How are you?
so honored to have you here, and I'm just gonna you can say whatever you want, however you want, and I'm not gonna talk too much. If you want to introduce yourself and tell them who you are and what you want us to know, I would love to hear your story. My heart goes out to you. My fan base loves you, and they were so glad you were here, and they showed you so much love and support. And all their comments, you can look at the comments, even respond if you want to under the video. They love you, they support you, and they're very heartbroken about what happened to you and this guy, Ugly God, and what he did. And we want to help promote you and spread the word. We want justice for what this rapper Ugly God did to your brother, who's gloating and laughing about it, and the police at this time are not really, they act like they're not taking this serious and doing anything about it. I understand and you understand that if we continue to apply pressure and we make this a major internet event and we pass this around on social media and we get the people upset and involved and wanting to participate in the agenda, and this will also go worldwide, and we put pressure on police and hire government officials and even go to the Justice Department if you have to and have your lawyers investigate this, they will eventually break. They will have to do something about what this man did, taking your beautiful brother's life. So you go ahead and say what you want to say. You can talk as long as you want to. I want you to share it with us from your perspective. You there? Can you hear me?
Can
Oh
you hear
gosh,
me?
I hope I didn't lose her. You here? You there?
Yes,
You
I'm
there?
here. Can you? Yes. Can you?
Yes. Now please tell me when you heard about myself. Oh Lord. I just kept saying yesterday, y'all, please don't cuss me out. Please don't be mad at me. When somebody told you about me and you got over here, what were you thinking? Hello? Hello? We
Can,
can't hear you.
can you hear me?
Yeah, you just sound low, or you'll go out. We can't hear nothing.
Okay, hold on. Let me add you to this. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's just a little low. Did you hear what I was saying?
Yes, I did. I did. And I was appalled when I saw you. When I got the call, I was driving down the highway and someone called me and there's like, lost your brother. And I said, somebody's talking about my brother. And so when I came in, you were halfway through, or you had done some things already. So I just kind of logged on. When I logged on, my sisters, my older sister, and my sister that's over me is there. It's three of us. Well, it's four kids now, biological. I'm the youngest. Buggy, we call him Buggy. Ronaldo is, I'm 46, my brother is 50, and my older sisters and brothers over that. We have one brother and two sisters. So what happened with this case, I mean, I'm not a social media person, so y'all, used to do it for fun. So if my wording is wrong or, I spell something wrong, y'all see it, my kids are like, Mom, come on. So the way this happened was when I got the call that my brother had passed on, it was shot, was murdered. It was 6/29, 2023. I was in the hospital. My daughter had just had a baby. First, she had a baby at 6 in the morning. He was passed. He was gone by 11. So, but when I
Wow.
first, yes, when I first got the call was that your brother's dead, and um, there's the issue with his son. I kept hearing son, They never told me who killed him. They just said that there's an issue with the son. So I said, okay. So a little bit of time passed. And when I finally started getting the call, they was like, Ugly God killed your brother. And I'm saying, okay, Ugly God. I mean, it just didn't, it seems like I'm in a dream, y'all. It really does. I haven't woke up yet from this dream.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother and his wife of 20 some years, they had a very abusive domestic relationship. They just did. They were high school. They were together since seventh grade or eighth grade. They was together a very long time. We thought very much in love. So they have 5 kids together, 4 boys and 1 girl. The oldest is 27. There's a That's Renico. The junior is I think 25 and 16, 11, and there's a girl in between there. She's maybe I think 23. So, long story short was we had been hearing all over that there was issues at the house. My brother was the type nobody was going to get in his business, his family business, which we didn't. If he said, I'm here, I'm staying here, this is what it is, then that's what it was, you know. So on this particular day, the day before, he had spoke to my other sister, my middle sister, and there was a big argument about what was going on in the house with the mom, with Ugly God's mom, Rhonda, and the wife, I guess, was Stefana, was good friends. So he always felt like when there was any kind of issue that everyone ganged up on him, and he stressed that to a lot of different people. But it seems that she was telling him things like, nobody cares. I really think that they think that nobody was gonna push this, or nobody. I think they was thinking it's gonna be just swept under the rug. So y'all, I get worked up. So if I do, just take a minute with me. I'm not used to this, but I'm full and I'm passionate about the love of my brother. So when I found out how my brother had moved all his things the night before, everything, there was a big argument. It was heard by neighbors in the driveway. My brother got his stuff and left. The couple of things that
Mm.
he left, yes, the couple of things that he left there was things probably he didn't care about. One of the
Where did he
sons,
go?
he went to the house where the lady was, where I guess where he was gonna be going, because remember they've been having problems for a while. So
Girl, he had a girlfriend. Did you know his girlfriend?
I didn't at the time. I do now. Like, I don't live local anymore. I'm here now. I might as well be, but I'm back and forth a lot. But no, I didn't. But my sister and them did. So
Wow. So what happened? He got his stuff the night before. They got into it, and he came back the next day.
can you
Oh
can
no, I
can
think
you
we
hear me?
lost her
No.
again.
Can you hear me? I'm here.
Yes, and you just sound
Okay.
low.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he got his things and he left, and all of his stuff was gone, from my understanding. Now, the one rule that all of us remember, my mama told me, if you ever had a problem, don't go to someone's property and don't go into their domain, which
Mm.
it was a big issue for me because my brother talked to people like minutes before all this happened. And what he told them was, someone called me because of the argument last night. Ugly God, Royce Davidson, he's putting everybody out. So you need to come get your
Mm.
sons. Yes. Now, this is not Royce's house. It's a rental property. So when they called my brother, and he was everything for his kids. So his younger sons was there. The 11-year-old and 16, 17-year-old was there. So of course he went to him. But think about things, y'all. He lived in this house for 2 years plus. And for him to pull up, not pull in the driveway, pull on the side near the mailbox, stayed on the street, that was a red flag for me. He knew not to go in the house. For whatever reason, he wasn't going to go in that house. So, what they told us was that he sent a text for Royce to come out. Okay. But what he said to the person he was on the phone with was that they called him repeatedly to come get the kids. Now, the kids never came. They didn't come outside or none of that. The first person to come outside was Ugly God, Royce. And
Mm.
yes. So my brother still never got out the car. So I guess he walked up to the driver window or whatever the case may be. It was him and him right there. So that's why when he says this thing about his mother was there and there was a gun held on her. I don't know. I know that him and him talked for a while and later the mother walked up. The wife never, we didn't never see or hear exactly where she was. She was right in the vicinity. I don't want to say exactly what on that situation, but you have a 16, 17-year-old son and you see somebody walk out the house, the wife is right there, and you have 11-year-old son, and nobody goes outside to the argument. No, like they let him go by himself. So I don't know. I'm a wife, and I'm thinking if no matter what I'm going through, if I see someone have a gun, or if one of my kids, I also have a son that's 16, I'm not going to be able to stop him from going outside or whatever the case may be. And that's just life, you know, because obviously there was a threat. But the thing with Royce is he never, if there was an argument the night before and he was so scared, he didn't call the police. I mean, my brother didn't go to the door and drag him out or run behind him or chase him down or none of that. He walked out the door with his gun ready to do what he had to do. And I don't know another way to put it. So the things that they're telling me, it just doesn't sit. It's not right. Like my brother was shot 4 times in the face. There was more rounds than that he didn't land. I'll say it like that, didn't hit him. But there's, bullet holes all over the car, all around the area. So when the police, after,
What? So the news was wrong when it said 3 times. He was shot 4 times in the face.
yes, the
So
news
you're
said
saying his face was destroyed, or could you put it together for the funeral?
it was destroyed. The news said at least 3 times to the facial area. So that's what we got from the autopsy. So my brother was unrecognizable. Like, I mean, his face was it was apart. And when he shot him, the my brother obviously was in drive. The car was in drive because he hit and totaled a car that's diagonal to where they were staying. Now, they said that my brother was threatening and saying this, and I don't know how much threat you can do from. And my brother's a shorter man. He's sitting down low in a little bitty car, a little Nissan. So I don't know what they're saying when they say the mama. And like everyone knows that the mama was one of the big problems for my brother, the argument, but she was not there for the full argument. So what was the threat? She was there at the very end. But the mother was doing this thing where she put, my brother was saying, put aluminum foil on the TV because the aliens coming, and she just was like, I don't want to say weird, I don't know, but I know that it wasn't normal, the things that she was doing, seeing stuff and doing all kind of stuff. However, my brother wasn't going back to that house. So it was their last chance to do whatever they wanted to do. Now, Royce is really, really good friends with the sons, of course, both of them. I mean, one of them, if y'all look at Rolling Loud 2020, my nephew was on the stage with him. They was his bodyguards. I mean, there's a young man.
Wait a minute, sis. You were saying more than one son was his bodyguard?
Yes, both of them was
The two that I
protecting.
mentioned?
Yes, both of them
Lord
was.
Jesus. So
But he was close.
Ronaldo Jr. and Renico.
Yes.
Them the two that I kept telling you he was saying.
Yes, that's the two his two sons.
With
But
the
I don't.
mama, but for some reason, tell me why did I keep feeling like he kept saying that the Ronaldo Jr. was more influenced by the mother and Ugly God than Renico?
because Renico was kind of like his boy. Like now he was really that was probably who he was closest with. If he needed anything or he called, Renico was his that's his go-to. Like that was him. But Renico is a good person. He very easygoing and he loved his daddy. I feel like he loved his daddy. But there's a difference between a mama and a daddy. When things going on, some lean to their mama, some lean to their daddy. Now, of course, Ronaldo was closer to his mama. He was. I
Mm.
won't I won't say that he wasn't, and I mean the fact of the matter is they're saying like it was a crime of passion because four times in the face, most people statistically, one shot to the head or the face, 20% of the people live. And like you felt the need, he had to make sure my brother was dead. For whatever reason, he had to make sure. So, I don't know
But
what
how
the
was it a crime of passion? He was not attacking Ugly God, and Ugly God clearly had a lot of jealousy and resentment towards him, and he wanted to get rid of him. That's and then you said, did you say that Ugly God's mother also stayed in that house sometimes?
all the time. That was her house. Yeah. My
Oh,
brother
because
and
I
his
kept seeing the two older women, and I didn't know who the two older women were. One came up as the Queen of Pentacles, which was about money and all about money. And then the other mother came up that was more emotional about the situation. But for one of the mothers, it was more about money and position and her
correct,
children.
correct, correct.
I
So,
don't see Black Ugly God's mother was not in this. I don't see that.
well, I don't know. People go to the ringer for their sons. If she wasn't in it, she was at the end, and he's putting her in it because
No,
he's
she's
saying,
of course she I don't see her going against him, but I don't see her planning it. I see his wife and
"Oh
his two
yeah,
sons. Oh, you go ahead. You think the
oh,
mother helped plan this? His mother?
no, I don't think the mother probably stable. No, I don't think she. This lady got aluminum foil over her TV so the aliens don't come in. So she's got a smart mouth, and she's a mother to her son. But I don't. I never.
She covers up the dirty things that he does and the drug dealing
Absolutely.
and the gang banging and also murders because it's not the first person he has murdered or shot. And it's also females in his family that deal with the drug dealing and jumping on people and intimidating them and shooting as well. He has very dangerous, violent women and other people in his family that help with this, and the mother knows it.
Yeah. Now I will say yeah to that. I will say yeah to
Mama
that.
gonna cover it because that's her little children. Them are her little gremlins.
Absolutely. So the wife hasn't spoken to the immediate family since before the funeral. It was almost like we was blessed to even attend the funeral. Like it was a lot of animosity. And I mean, you said a crime of passion. What is the one thing that will make a man go crazy on another man?
Pussy,
Oh, okay.
money,
Okay. What's the next?
jealousy, rage, want
Okay.
to take his position, get him out the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was blown away when I heard what you said because some of the things there's no way that you could possibly know. I'm telling you, I was blown away, and you was dead on it. I don't. I only thing I don't. We. I've always thought that the wife had something to do with it. That's me. I never, for as the sons, like I guess it's family. We don't want to think that I never, like I don't know how I would feel that myself, but when you tell me the things and say the things that you say, it may some of the stuff a lot of everything that you said made sense if you not looking from the inside, which is where I'm at with this. So his
It's okay with me because remember I was telling you, I say I'm used to people when I tell them and I say these things and they'll say I don't believe that part because they don't know or they think they know the person. They don't see it all from the inside or they might not want to believe it, or they just may not know. So I told you I do not get offended if you say you don't agree with me, because me and her was talking earlier, and she was like, I don't think it's Renico. I probably Ronaldo and his mama. She said, but I don't. I think you're wrong about that. Here are the other brothers. Here's the names and the sisters. Do you think maybe you could have made mistakes? You know, their name is close together. You could have heard. You could have heard
Yeah,
it
I
wrong.
mean,
Their name close together. I said, sis, I'm gonna stand on aisle 10 on this, and we're gonna
yes,
let
you
time
did.
go on. And I'm not mad at you. It's okay. You don't have to believe it. You don't know me. We're gonna watch. I said, I'm telling you. Now, Renico, I feel like is kind of in the middle. He's torn. He's very hurt about it. He don't want to look like a snitch and betray them and see them go to chain gang. Especially not the mama. And you think about the
Yes,
brothers and the little one. He's not all the way in with it, and he was not all the way down with it, helping to plan it. The other one is more bold and more into it and more resentful towards his father. I don't see Renico hates his father and is resentful towards the father like that. He hates this, but he cannot speak out because it's like, how do you betray your family? He's torn, but he also is having a hard time because his father was murdered like that, and he knows ugly God did it. I hate to say this, but Ronaldo Jr. and the mama, they rejoicing, and it's another female. It's like they think this is funny and that this is relieved. I just hope it comes out some kind of way. Somebody can find out about some money she got and some insurance that she got, because that is. And then the junior here, where I saw they were together, I wondered about his mindset and how does he think, and was he educated, and he can be a critical thinker, cold thinker, linear thinker, non-emotional when he's out to get somebody. And that made me, is he a hunter? Is he a predator? Does he deal with a job? As I asked you, was he in law enforcement? Was he in military? Because he comes off like that, like a cold predator, like he will stalk someone and hunt someone. And the ugly God has a lot of influence over him because he's cold and dirty, but he might come off friendly. This guy is just like a clown, like that it clown on that horror movie. He comes off harmless to people and he can be jolly and funny. But this guy don't give a fuck about nothing, living or dead. Maybe it's mama, but then he's very narcissistic, egotistical, wants to be a big star. And from what they're saying, his rap career is really not going anywhere. But he
absolutely.
hasn't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I
What
just
do you
said
think about what I
absolutely.
said about Ronaldo Jr.? That he could be a cold, critical thinker. I wonder, did he
Yeah,
have some type of education or learn to be? He could shut his feelings down and turn cold like a narcissist and a predator or a hunter. So I wondered, would he in law enforcement or have been trained in law enforcement, know people in law enforcement or military? Remember, I asked you that today.
he's very educated. I will say that he is like he heads the family. Like he thinks very clearly, and he's a thinker. I'll say that
So can you
he's a
tell us
smart one.
which one is he in law enforcement or military?
I will say this. I don't want to put all his stuff out there because he's still my nephew, and I want everything to come out. But he's you on the money. I'll just put it like that. I'll just put it like that. So I don't want to just say okay, but I'll just tell you, you know what you're talking about. You
So
you
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 saying
have.
two of those occupations, he's one of them.
Mm,
He's one of those occupations that I mentioned.
I'm gonna plead the fifth because I'm gonna plead the fifth on that. I'm gonna plead the fifth.
He's a
I'm,
reader, he's a thinker, and I see he can be cold and calculating and shrewd. And I saw the lady, that's his wife with the child. She's a little scared of him. She's not going to go against him unless something happens between them. She knows how calculated he is. He'll plan. He'll come up on somebody and stalk them. They don't know anything happened to him. Nobody would suspect him because he's handsome. All of his children are beautiful. He has a beautiful family. The wife was attracted when she was younger. And then speaking of that shit, one of my faithful supporters, my baby went and found that arrest record showing she just got knocked up in 2022. That was last year. So did she fight your brother?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Do
Yes.
you know what the fight was about?
I have no idea. My brother used to say that she would do things like hit her nose on the wall and call the police on him. And I'm quoting, this is exactly what he would say. He would say these things. So I'm not gonna come on here and lie for him or her or nobody. But she was a fighter. She was. She
So
was
she would beat herself up and say he did it just to get him locked up, and they was believing her. And then you said, what did he start to do? He started filming and
record
documenting this to prove.
everything. Absolutely. He that is what he did. And he had the proof. The proof is in the pudding. He got videos of her doing these things. Yes, she was very violent. And I will say that, my brother is my brother. You described him. Like we got to remember these his boys. My youngest, the Renaldo Jr. is a smart. He's very book smart. He's street smart. He's very calculated. He is and they look to him. You're right. They respect him. They look to him, and we do as well. He speaks well. Like he's he's exactly what you said.
See,
So,
that's why when you said that's not true, I don't think I said it's okay, sis. And
hmm
that's why I went back down because I just
hmm
told you what I saw and you just agreed. That's why I went
yeah,
back down. He did it with his mother and Ugly God. They've been plotting this a minute. And did you
yes,
tell me? I want you to tell everybody. Did your brother this year? You said he started going around saying they gonna kill me.
he did. He did. He told several people, if anything happened to me, she did it. She did it. If
What?
anything, yes. He did. And I want you to know, like, everybody don't agree with everything everyone do. Like, I have people that support what I do. Some people don't. Some people don't like their family dirty laundry aired out. I'm just a realist. I'm gonna say what it is, and that's that. My brother I don't portray him to be a saint, but he was well loved, and he was who he was. I am who I am. Nobody is perfect. But this right here, what they did him was dead wrong. And it was
It was
calculated,
wrong.
and it was calculated, it was planned out. My brother, these like I said, these arguments was going on. Royce, the ugly guy, he has another house that he lives in that they tell me allegedly Colorado is where he stays. He came to town for this. And see, the time
What?
that's what let me change that. He came to town a couple of days before this happened, but
Where was
he had
Ronaldo? Was he there before this happened, and was he here there during the time it happened?
no, he was not nowhere near the state. He was
But
not.
had he been in that state weeks or maybe a month or so before this happened to his father?
I didn't see him the last time he was home, so I don't want to lie, but he had
Ask
been in.
someone because he's been there this year and he was there before this happened and he made sure that he was not when it happened. Or am
Okay.
I wrong? Was he there?
I didn't see him. I have to check. I have to ask.
Ask someone that would know. Was he in town when his father was murdered?
Oh no, he wasn't in town. I know that when he was murdered. It
Exactly. So it would look like he had no association with it. But he had been talking to this guy, Ugly God. They had been talking to each other, and he let him know that it was done. They had been talking before the last time he had come in town, before they shot his daddy. They had already plotted that, and he and his with the mother and the other brother knew, but he was like, I don't really want to be in this. I'm hearing it, but I don't want to hear it all, and I'm gonna act like I didn't hear what the fuck y'all just said. But he knew it was going down, but Renico didn't do nothing to stop it. And he didn't tell nobody and he didn't tell the police. He knew this was gonna happen, but he wasn't in it like that. But he knew. The
I don't
other
I
one,
don't
hmm?
I don't I don't I I just don't feel that about Renico.
I
I know you stand
understand.
on it.
I
I,
understand, and I'm okay with that.
hmm But the time will tell everything.
Yes,
Time will.
if you keep pushing this and more people put pressure on law enforcement to do something about it, if you stop, this is not going to go no. You're to build a momentum, and everybody that hears this story know it's wrong and fucked up, and knows that ugly God is wrong. Then he's up there laughing about it, laughing at you, cracking jokes about taking that man's life like that. And then you know what bothers me is how none of his sons, the intelligent Ronaldo Jr. and Renico, that you said had nothing to do with it, and the daughters, nobody is attacking him. Nobody beat him up. Nobody came out and shot him or kicked his ass, and they let him free, and they didn't speak to the police to demand justice, and they are not speaking to the media. So is your friendship with this man, Renico and Ronaldo Jr., more important than him taking your father's life? That seems weird to me. They're not talking.
You're absolutely right. Right is right and wrong is wrong. With it, they're not. And I speak for myself and my on behalf of my family. And I don't know. I haven't. I mean, I talked to Renico. I talked to the middle child. Like I never asked him because the kids were so distraught. The two children that were home that saw everything, I the mother wouldn't let the police talk to the boy by himself because he's underage, and it's just a lot of crazy stuff with it. It is. And I'm uneasy because I know it ain't right. I know it's not right. My brother
The
died at the
young was
same.
afraid, and they're all holding up the treachery and abuse of the mother and what happened between them. And she drove up and saw her husband dead.
No, she was in the house. She was there. She was
And
right there. Very close.
so she didn't run out, she didn't cry, she didn't scream. Just his younger son ran after the car and was holding his face and in pain about what he saw with his father. The mother didn't come out and say or do anything or scream or go to the media, nothing.
Nothing but give a statement that free ugly God. She didn't. You can go look at the news media. She's on there, and I don't know about her. I don't know. I know the young kids, the baby, the one of the babies that put the car in park because he ran to the other parked car where the car was still running. So he put the car in park. He was full of blood, full of it. Like
When yes, because you showed me a picture they had out with him. I could see some of his face was still intact, but you're telling me no, that part of his face I saw that you could tell it was him. That part, what they couldn't close it back, or you didn't see that when you looked at his body.
no, my brother, like the his head was gone. His top of his head, like the forehead part, it was not intact. It
And
was
his
not intact.
brains were gone.
Well, you see him on the windshield, right there on the news
Girl,
picture.
oh my God. And she had to see it too. And you tell me this lady did not speak out. So do they still live in Ugly God's house with or the mother's house?
No, they don't. And Tiffany, I'm not in denial about the nephew, baby. I'm just telling you this is a very hard pill for me. I'm open to whatever, but I'm just telling you from my personal experience. I don't this is very hard for me. It's really difficult. Some of y'all imagine this being your close family member and having to deal with the death of my brother. The man, a rapper, so-called rapper, is free. He's mocking us. He just made a page, another page. He's using this to get his fame back, using me. He used a video of me to go ask Gilly and Wallow for an interview.
Did they
So
give it to him?
he said that they did. I don't know. He's put thanks
I
Gilly
hope
and
they put it
Wallow.
out so we can boycott them. Cause
Yeah,
Rollo just lost us. Gilly just lost his son to
yeah,
gun
he did.
violence and jealousy. So let's
He
see
did.
if he does on the back of a murdered father, a hardworking murdered father who didn't do anything to deserve that. We knew that was intentional, that was up close. that was deliberate, and there's no evidence that your brother pulled a gun or made him in fear of his life. I don't know if that's a stand your ground. I don't even know if he could use that. Clearly they said his relative is a judge, and the judge
Yeah,
made sure it didn't go anywhere. That judge should be reported and should be investigated.
and he has, and I've even caught backlash for that because the election was Monday, and the Friday before that, my sister and myself was on the local radio station. He lost to an introvert. He lost to a lady beat him by a landslide. But the police department, a lot of people was upset with me because of the post I made about him because he is his uncle, a biological uncle, and it's just the way after he shot my brother and quoted the the zone that he quoted like police do when they kill people. How did he know to do all that? This was so very calculated that it's unbelievable. So they, I don't know. I haven't found out yet. We ask questions and the answers come back later, sometimes way later. We don't know if he drove himself to the police department or if he was took, but we know that he was whisked away from the scene. That that my nephew, who was there, as I said earlier, was arguing with someone about taking pictures of his deceased father, who, which is Renico, was at work when this happened on camera. He was in the police car. He went for only for disturbing the peace. They wouldn't even give him a bond for that. They kept him all night, and I don't know, like, if I'm a mother and if I know somebody just shot my husband and my son is upset about it, I'm gonna go to the police car and say, please, can you let my son out? We have family here now. We'll take him. He won't hurt anybody. You know, Renico sat in that car and did his time in that car. The mom was there, the sister was there. My brother body was out there so long. They had a lot of people had enough time to get there and see. By the time he was done, Royce was out. They made sure there was never a mug shot shown of him. He didn't stay the night in jail. Like, even if you in the right and it's self-defense and you kill somebody, they supposed to give you a cooling off period. Even if they say it's self-defense, they supposed to do that. They didn't put his name. The only reason that the media know who it is because I had to post our original police report. And that's how we knew. They didn't book him in the system. They booked Renico, and this is what makes me, they book Renico in for for disturbing the peace. So when you pull up the murder, and they say we have a murder, Renaldo Delavallde victim such and such, and we have a victim in custody. We have a suspect in custody. They was talking about my nephew on the misdemeanor charge. Like, they had his name all over. He was booked in, had his picture taken. He was all over for that misdemeanor. We never saw Roy's name. We never saw Ugly God name. I did just see a video of Ugly God. We they said that he didn't have a record. He just had a video on where in Mississippi, when you do something and you go to court, I don't know how they do it in other states. They make you wear a big sign and walk around complexes. Like, if it's a weed charge, they might make you say, "Stop smoking." But there's a video out of him and he's saying, "Stop smoking, Black and Miles." So there's a lot of protecting going on here. A lot of protecting going on. And I'm catching the backlash for it, but I'm okay with it.
How are
I'm
you catching a back? And you shouldn't listen to them. You should not let your brother's death go in vain. You should not let them get away with this. I'm telling you, it's all an inside job. He did not have a argument with Ugly God and then scare Ugly God and make him so scared that he killed your brother before he could kill him. Because your brother's saying, I wasn't trying to kill him. I was going to get my stuff and go on with my life. And now you confirm what I said. No, the wife is all over this. And the baby, Ronaldo Jr., he kept telling me yesterday, Ronaldo Jr., Ronaldo, he put his hand on me. Now, do you know anything about that?
I've heard that. Yes, I've heard that.
He said he put a
I've
hand on me. We got to fight. and he resented me. It was about his mama, and he always take up for her and felt sorry for her. But see, like you said, if she lied and bust her nose and ran into a wall and people saw that, and she said he did it, she could have easily said that to her children, and they believed her. And I'm telling them
Yeah.
what kind of lies she has told, and we're to the point that he don't believe nothing his daddy say. This is all
Yes.
inside, and it's because ugly God is inside your family that them three right there are the main three. But I'm telling you that Renico know, and he know how his mama is, but he ain't gonna betray the mother. He would feel so much guilt. He's torn. He's heartbroken and hurt about what happened to his father. He feels guilt about that. He feel like he could have stopped it. I could have did something about it, and I could have been home because he knew. And then he don't want to betray his mother. But if I tell she's gonna go to jail and she spent her life in there, that's gonna be on me, and I feel guilty about that. He's just really going through it. The other one is only a little agitated and anxious because he doesn't want to get investigated, and he never wants to go to jail because if the military, well, or the police, whichever one he is, they hear
Absolutely.
about this and it's a possibility he becomes a suspect, that's gonna be it for him. If they have the investigation, then they have their own internal investigations with both of these police and military. His career's gonna be over. But he feel
Well,
like he's so smart. He's smarter than everybody. He's smarter than the average bear. He's very arrogant and egotistical. He feels like nobody would ever suspect me because I wasn't there. Anyway, I had nothing to do with that. He's very, very arrogant, and they can't associate. Yeah, but if y'all was talking, but see, then again, until somebody really high above the Mississippi judge and police law come down on them, or somebody inside of that system decides to do something. Because Mississippi, as you know, been on the news for them dirty white police down there. So we got some dirty black ones down there too now that we see. Because his relatives are judges down there. And we don't know who else. Lawyers, police, people inside the system. This needs to stop. And I never thought, that this man would say what he said. And I kind of feel bad for this stuff sometimes. It's because I point people out because the spirits will come in here and point this out. He did that to me. He shot me. And the bitch right there, and she helped to set the shit up. I mean, they come in here and I can hear them very well. So they start detailing shit and start calling folks out and naming their name and shit. I hate that. And I'm sure they thought that would never happen. Nobody like me. I don't know if you've had any psychics or anybody read this before, but your brother's over here naming names. And I just hope you keep going and you don't stop because if it was their loved one, would they stop because you got mad at them or you said something about them? Some people let it go and don't investigate their loved ones at all. And I have a problem with that. I love your strength, your beauty, your passion, your love for your brother, and you're fighting, and you're very intelligent, and you're very aware, and you've already established ground, and you have people following you and supporting you, and that's going to help it too. This rapper is so disgusting. He's trying to revive a career that's not hot no more by murdering a man that didn't do anything to him. I admire your tenacity to get justice from a brother you grew up with your whole life. This man did not deserve that. And you better not stop and give up, goddamn it. Now bend, but don't break. Now give out, but don't give up, goddamn it. Now take you a break, but you have other people to help you and build momentum around this thing. Because by taking this public and building a lot of public outcry and momentum is how you're going to get the legal officials and politicians involved here to bring about change.
well, where I'm at now, I done came this far, and I would want somebody to fight for me. I wouldn't, whatever the case may have been, I would want somebody to fight. And the fight I have left in me, he gonna get it. So I've made my mind up that I'm here now because it just wasn't right. I mean, it just wasn't right. I feel like even in death that they mocking my brother, like after a A little while after he murdered my brother was already dead. And he went to Twitter and tweeted, "Whole time I'm a bored ape." So now he uses that. And to be honest with you, I know my brother. I will bet my life that my brother was driving off and called that man, "You ain't nothing but a bored ape in my business over here." Because that's his trigger word. He keeps on saying it. Ugly God, rapper Ugly God, Royce Davidson. He changed his name on Facebook to Fio Rodriguez. Fio means ugly in Spanish. So he wants to be labeled as this ugly God. And he done this. And the fact that it took so much for me to even get him to admit that he done it, because it was so covered up for 2 weeks. We didn't bury my brother till July the 13th. They did autopsies and everything. People still didn't know that he was the murderer. He's the one that pulled the trigger. He is actually, so that's why, I mean, that gave me the strength to keep going. The fact that people asked him and made him say that he did it. But this
But
is,
this is the thing. Here's your brother's son and the wife and the other people in there, and his mother knows that he did it. They know he did it.
they do.
They know, sis. They know. I'm gonna stand on it, man. One day I know it's going to come out. They know he did it. It was planned. Then the brother got the call and the communication. He said it in a way so it don't look like, okay, I just killed your daddy. He said it in a way they had a code for it. They knew. He knew. The wife knew, and she got excited about it.
You're,
Other people down there knew he did it
yes,
because it
of
was a
course.
family affair. And I brought up a good point I also wondered about. They said, was it anybody? I'm sure somebody had ring cameras in the neighborhood or across the street. People in the neighborhood know he did it. Did you do
Yes,
you do you know if anybody had any ring camera? Because they probably gonna get to them and tell them, bitch, you had it, and bitch, now you don't have the ring camera.
there was. I went and walked the neighborhood myself and talked to people. One, there's a ring cam across the street. The lady said it was activated the next day. When we asked the police about it, there's like two videos out there that when we asked the police about it, they were saying, "Well, we can't do this or we can't do that." So I went done it myself. So it is for those that's wondering, the it's on video. And I'm gonna just say that it's
Did
on
they
video.
show that your brother was being aggressive at any point and got out or was sitting there and pulled a gun out the window?
Nope, they did not.
Exactly. They could have subpoenaed it. They don't want to because they've been told by somebody powerful to stand down. Girl, the
You're
higher
right.
ups need to come down there. You need to contact the Justice Department, man. You need to get your lawyer to really dig and go places you cannot go and that have access to that, which I'm sure they know what to do. Because girl, don't let this go. Cause please don't let this go. This man wants people to fear him and get street credit, and people want to see him in concert because that's what they like, drama and murder. So let's see where his career goes with this. And the bigger, let's say if he gets bigger, you definitely don't want to stop because more attention will be brought to this situation and him. This is going to follow him. You make sure this follow him. This blood trail follows him wherever he goes. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it, sis.
Say it.
When I looked at Ronaldo Jr., I started having problems breathing. And I said, "Oh my God, that's him. That's the one. That's him. That's him. That's him." I seen death on him. I seen a death spirit on his face and in his mouth. I seen the death spirit of his father in his mouth and on his body. And the other one, they walking around with a dead spirit on him. I'm sorry. I can't shake it. We're gonna agree to disagree on this, sis. I keep seeing the death spirit on him. When I looked at the other one, Renico, I did not see the evil and the death spirit on Renico. I seen more sorrow and pity and compassion and pain, but he still is half 1 foot in and 1 foot out with Ronaldo Jr. and the mammy and the God here. He not as evil as his brother and his mother and ugly God. They all did had the 3 pack, and it's another female. See, that's the other female I said yesterday I seen. Now you tell me, I didn't know that was his mother house. Mama lived in the house. The mama knowed he was gonna do it because they were talking about it. And then I looked at his body when you showed it, and I heard the nigga through your brother said they was talking, and the mama was saying something about get your gun. Get what you gonna do with the gun? You got to clean the gun or try to cover the gun. And they mentioned to me a 40 cal and a 9 millimeter. That's why I asked you what kind of gun, and you said they said a 22. And then I said I'm not sure about that. And then you said somebody mentioned a 40 cal or a Glock or a 9 millimeter. Or did you hear this from the police or seen it in the autopsy? Or was the little gun in the autopsy?
No, let's just say you was right. And listen, let me tell these people, I don't know uh I don't know this lady. She's
You sound real low. You sound low.
Can you hear me? I want them to know that I don't know you. You didn't Everything you say, you didn't get you brought it to me. You knew what you was talking about. And there was no way I could deny you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just sound low.
Okay, let me turn it up. There was no way that I could deny you the things that you were saying. And I battle with it because a lot of people heard it and a lot of people want to know, well, do you know her? You knew none of these details. The police report told us a small caliber. Nobody ever asked me what kind of gun, but you're absolutely right. The
Because
40
I
cal,
specifically asked you. I did not ask you what kind it was. I said, was it a 40 cal? You said, I think you mentioned 40 cal. You might have mentioned, I said, was it a 9 millimeter?
yes, that's correct. That's
And you
correct.
said, because I didn't talk to her and start talking to her on the text until today. So I asked, I said, you sure it was just a 40? Was it a 9 millimeter? Because I know you can take a bullet, a 40 cal bullet, and reduce it down to fit a 9 millimeter. And Nipsey Hussle also speaks with me as well. And he mentioned it because it was the same kind of shit that I said when Eric Holder shot Nipsey Hussle before it happened. I think in my very first reading, I said it was 2 guns. And the first reading since that I did was the day he got shot, March 31st, 2019. It took me about 3 or 4 days, and then I released it like the first part of April. So it was a few days after he got shot. So there was no way that nobody could have told me that. It was months after his murder that the autopsy was released, and that in the grand jury testimony, the girl that was driving said he had 2 guns. My very first reading, I said it was a silver. I said Nipsey told me he was shot with 2 guns. Oh, get the fuck out of here. You crazy. You just infatuated with him. You obsessed with him. You down in Atlanta. What the fuck you know about that? That man just got shot and you naming guns. I said, you heard what the fuck I said. The man is in here. He said was shot with 2 goddamn guns. And the DA, when they had the grand jury and they had some of his friend Cowboy and the girl that was driving, she said he got out the car, he had 1 gun. He got back in there, he had 2. The DA said what he had. She said he had a silver revolver and a 9 millimeter. I said, and it seemed like I remember from that case, he said they had altered some of the bullets. So that's why I said, was it a 40 cal or was it a 40 cal bullet that was reduced down to fit a 9 millimeter? You said, You said, yeah, that's it. You said, but they said it was smaller, like it was smaller. I saw 2 or 3 guns and I seen them talking about it. When his body was down there like that, the wife and they had contacted the brother, Renaldo Jr. And they were talking about the gun trying to cover his tracks. But hey, like you said, them police is down there covered it, and his judge relative told him to leave him alone.
Mm, well, the proof is right there, Mark. Um, McQuarrie, yeah. You was asking, did I was looking at a couple of these messages. The mother, they weren't visiting. They lived there. For some reason, my brother and sister-in-law had a very big, nice house that nobody in the family knew that they weren't living in it no more. They lost it for whatever reason. They was living actually at 1009 Deborah with Ugly God's mom, the wife, and the two young sons. So yes, they were staying there. We didn't find out till this all this other stuff till after, because no one visited Savannah. That's her name, Savannah. No one really. So it wouldn't have been out of the ordinary for nobody not to go to her house. She really just kind of distanced herself for whatever reason, and they lived there. So they was all there when it happened. So
Do you know anything about the wife's drug use or prescription drugs possibly taken, pill popping for any type of injury?
I know that you're right. She had an injury and she goes to the doctor regularly. So
So she get
I
them
know.
pills. Because I
I,
noticed that when I looked at her, I thought she was attractive. And then I looked at the mugshot last year. I said, that don't even look like the same lady. She looked fat, like she got a tan, and looked rough like a man. And then they said, you said that the lady was attractive. I said she was. It must have been a goddamn old picture because I put it up there when she was with her daughter. You can look in her face. She was lighter. You can see her cheekbones, had her hair black. I said, this is an old picture because she looked it very attractive. But now she got these like a damn raccoon, or I don't know what that is. She got these ring round the rosy eyes, these black ring all the way around her eyes. You see that?
yeah, she was a very pretty girl. She was. I don't take nothing from her. She's a pretty girl, nice figure, everything. But she that she was. But she was always, if you ask anybody who know her, like she was always had this crazy aggression about my brother. And some of the things I'm just not hearing it. Like she went to a family event and was accusing my cousins of him, first cousins. So she was a little, some of the stuff I didn't know about her. Like people was telling me, she always been like that since high school. Her cousins, first cousins, was said. So I don't know. I just
She
know that
accused
this
her cousins of sleeping with your brother.
my first cousins, his first cousins on my side.
Lord, have mercy.
Yeah. Yeah, she was I didn't know this till recently. A lot of stuff is coming out now. My brother, like I said, he was a very private person. And to be honest, I knew there was domestic. It's not like I didn't know, but I thought it was one of the relationships where they fight and then get off on making up because they was together so long. Like I didn't know I need to come in and say, okay, stop this, because it was like it was an okay thing in public. So people ask, why did we know if it was domestic? It was a lot. But when they moved in that house, Roy's mama became about the domestic, and him, all of them became involved. And I'm gonna tell you like this: my brother, to them, as I think about things and things play out, the way they was feeling about him, he was more valuable to him dead. He had 401k. He was set up okay. He always had good jobs. And you know what's weird? He told people, "Hey, I got a house." But he used to say that the house was haunted, like the people was doing something in the house. The wife would never leave the house. He was like, because he made pretty good money. He was like, I got a house. She love it here. She loves it here. On the day of his repast, me and her had an altercation on his, not his repast, the lighting of, we did a lighting of the candles for him at night. And me and her had an altercation. And it was kind of like, we finna ask what we want to ask my sisters what went on with it. And my question to her was, why are you still in that house? Because my brother was already dead. This was the next day. And I don't know a woman that wouldn't have, he died, his blood all over the street and everything out there. You got your kids there. If you felt anything, Why did you stay there? And she told me, I love it here. I feel comfortable here and I don't have nowhere else to go. I'm not leaving. I said, well, in that situation, I think I'd have went to my car. I don't even know if I'd have walked back in the door. These people just killed your husband and you stand the night with them, no matter what the circumstances is. How could you sleep knowing that my brother blood right out in the front driveway? You got to see it every time you leave the house. So after that altercation, I think somebody must have convinced her to leave. But she stayed there and she verbally said this to me. My second question to her was, and let me tell you something. I don't even claim to be a spiritual person. I don't see nothing, none of that. But my other question, it popped up in my head at that moment. I said, did you take my exact words? Did you take out a life policy on my brother 2 months ago? I don't know what made me say the 2 months. My sister hate when I say times. And her response to me was, I work for an insurance company. She never said no. The daughter,
Wait, whoa.
she
She
never said
worked
no.
for an insurance company?
We didn't know that. We did not know that. We don't know the name of it. We don't know none of that. All we know is she collect SSI for her accident. I didn't know she worked for no insurance company. My sisters didn't know that. And the conversation got heated. It almost came to blows, real blows. So I kind of just, even though, I had a lot invested in that, God watch out for me, really. I took a walk and I just said, I'm not going to deal with her. I don't want to deal with nobody who in the middle that deal with her. I know my love, I know my brother loved his kids. So I try my best to be cordial with the kids until everything comes out. I don't want to be make these accusations. I want to let everything come. And that's where I'm at right now. But like anybody, she made a whole new, she I feel like you was right. She started living her best life. My brother, she never had social media. My brother wasn't even dead the whole month. She put up new pictures, new pages. She did a whole for my brother. We have a huge family. I have nephews in their 30s. And I mean, like, it's a lot of us. My mom had 5 of us. We got 20 of us. So if you go back, it's on my page. I think, of course, in the interview, academics did. He didn't interview me. He just did one on his own. But the family had set up a GoFundMe, right? And not us. I made an interview telling people don't donate to that GoFundMe because just give us our brother. We will bury him. Don't do him that. Don't humiliate him. It's like everything she was doing. It's 5 of us. He got 4 grown sisters and brothers left. We would have buried him with no issue, but she wanted to take control. She never asked us for nothing or anything, but she did a GoFundMe. I think she collected like $2,000 or something to that. I told her, if you want to do a GoFundMe, you do it and say for family purposes or for what we need. Don't do it like you have to do that for my brother. Please don't do that. So it was a whole big discrepancy. I went live. I told people don't donate to that because it's not. She was making it like it was my family that did it, using the name Delavallde. It's only 5 original us, like her and her son that married into the family, they got the name. But she was putting it out there to our people, like the sisters and brothers, like we was. And I made a live and I told nobody don't donate. All she could do is give him to us, and we'll do it. So this whole thing was just like the
So they
weirdest
are
thing.
legally married.
We didn't go to no wedding. Nah, I'm just gonna tell you like this. Everything is coming out now. We didn't go to no wedding. I wasn't a witness. My sisters wasn't a witness, but things are being checked out in different. We checking things that we should have probably been checked. I didn't see no wedding. I didn't go.
Did
My
you
sisters
contact the
didn't go.
courthouse to see if there's a marriage license on record, marriage certificate?
I just look like this. I'm on it. I'm on top of it, and I
Yes,
got people
please.
that
And see if you can go
I
online as
have.
well as call them and go down there. Because if she's not legally married to him, then she does not control his estate and his assets. That will be the next of kin. You can go in at this
Mhm.
point and we'll talk to an attorney about getting um, some over his estate
Yeah, I'm
and
very
having
aware of all
access
that.
to all of his legal documents.
Mhm. I'm aware of that, and no, it never crossed anybody's mind because who questions somebody's marriage until something like this happens? He gave her the name. She started using the name. You know, the kids have the name. So who am I to go? So now that it's needed, I will.
Well, of course, they're heirs. And if common law doesn't apply in Mississippi, she may not be this man's legal wife. And then you check with the Mississippi Insurance Commission and tell them her
I
name and
have.
his name and see if they can find a policy.
They have. They're on top of it. They are definitely on top
No,
of
I
it.
know you know what to do. I'm just throwing it out there just in case,
Yeah,
you
I know.
know.
I appreciate you because my mind sometimes, with all this going on, it goes and come. It come and go with what's with all this. I'm overwhelmed with a lot of this stuff. I'm in the vicinity. I'm on the ground. My feet moving. I'm watching around my surroundings. What's going on? And I'm thinking of a lot of things at once. So my sisters, they making the phone calls and doing what need to be done in the right channels. But it's hard. And I got
And
a
I
new
think you
respect.
should. If you need to set up a GoFundMe for support for legal purposes and investigation, and for you to have what you need to keep on fighting to reveal the truth about what really happened to your brother that led up to this. And we know the shooter, and the shooter should be prosecuted, and all of the other co conspirators
Yeah,
that were involved in this.
I
If you
just
need a
pray.
break, like I said, take a break because I don't want this to get to you so bad that you end up falling out from exhaustion or stress. I don't want your blood pressure up or your heart. You take a break, give out, but don't give up. Bend, don't break. Take a break, but do not let this go because it's going to pay off. And other people are going to join in to help you. Just like I wanted my people to know and to spread the word about this because this is fucked up. And you're already laying the groundwork. I'm so proud of you because other people come to me about murdered children or a murdered sibling or a husband, and they make these excuses about being scared, not getting out there. You are a lion. You got right out there and dug in, just like your brother would have if it happened to you.
Definitely. Definitely, my brother would have made so sure some justice was taken. I promise you that. I know that. So it keeps me going. I
Somebody
don't know
just
though.
said too, did she use that money for the funeral or did she use it to help her move out of state?
Listen, that's funny that you said that. She gone, and I just want to say that she the funeral she know we was gonna put my brother out good, like it was any kind. I'm saying she did some little stuff like other people. It was big to us, like we had the funeral on a Thursday. Most people have funerals on Fridays and Saturdays. We had people coming into town. We have a lot of family, and it was like she hated the fact that people loved him. She did the funeral, she posted it. I think she really wanted it to be like nobody there. This is just what I think. Like she did it, she posted it the night before. She didn't run it in the paper. They did the cheapest funeral that they could do. We made it nice as we
Mm.
could. Yes, we got the amount. She did the cheapest, the lowest package. I buried my mama 10 years when I was 33, so it's 15 years ago. And her funeral was $11,000. And that's we in Mississippi. And that's with knowing the people. Like she buried my brother for under 4,000, under 4,500, I would say, or 5,000.
Oh, did
She
she
did the
put him in a
cheapest
vault?
package. No, she didn't put him in a vault. The casket was nice, I will say that, but the flowers and stuff, like she wouldn't have had none of that. My sisters and me and my the people around us, um, they done that. He had some really good supporters that made it work. But if it was left up to her, like my brother died on the 29th, y'all. We knew he had to go to the coroner's office. I don't know what was so special about the date, the 13th, but the next day, we had other people to call her and ask, hey, you want us to help you with the obituary? This and no, 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 no. The next day, she already knew that she wanted that funeral on the 13th. she wouldn't budge to the 14th, to the day before, the day after. I don't know. I thought it was some kind of spiritual day.
It
She
is.
didn't.
And that's the witches' day. That's the female witches number, the 13. That's why a lot of companies will not have a 13th floor because of the bad luckness of the jankiness of it. And it's a female witches
Wow.
holiday. So that shows she
I
had some type of magic done. I believe she put roots on that goddamn man and then went
Oh
down
yeah.
there and did a value meal goddamn funeral. A value meal funeral, goddamn
I'm
it.
telling
I
you.
bet if you check that casket, even though it looked pretty, or whatever chiffon and paint and shit it had on it, I bet you if you go and ask about the model of it and look at it, it's cheap as hell.
Mm. Well, I know what the amounts was, and I know that it was so weird because we kept finding churches for her, even one that was gonna do the funeral. Like people we knew. Okay, let's wait. We can get it on a Friday. She would not budge on that day. She don't have no job to go to, so she ain't got no job. She ain't had nowhere to be, but she was so set on that day that it was crazy. It was
Demonic.
crazy.
And she not resting. She popping, taking that medicine. Her son ain't either. He trying to move forward and work like everything okay, but he dirty as hell. And he really ain't resting behind this here. They want to hush this up. They don't want no questions asked. They don't want nobody talking about him. They don't want nobody to care nothing about him and take this to the media and start asking any questions. Girl, like you said, if that happened to your nigga, girl, even if it wasn't my husband, if it was a nigga I love, I wouldn't stop talking, goddamn it. I want everybody to know what happened to my nigga.
Yes, that's
And I'll
true.
be in them police face 24/7 and be out there for the camera to be seen and heard and all over social media and be calling out all the details I know, what I saw, what I heard before, during, and after his death. You quiet. And usually police always suspect the wife or the husband or the boyfriend or the girlfriend, and then you in the house with your lover. But then she had several men that she likes to put her mouth on and pop her ass on for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, I I got my brother. We have got my brother in the ground. We did a big celebration for him. That she was not invited to. She, the kids was welcome, and she still hasn't. She reached out to a couple family members and did a couple of things, but she don't look at me. I don't look at her because it's she
Well, did
know
she tell when she reached out? Did she tell the family member what happened
all she's saying
and
is
why she
that
was finna leave town?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know why. I
Ask
don't.
them
I
see what
guess.
she said, cause it's a no.
Well,
It's
I
a
hope
no for me, dog. It's a no.
maybe this will make her come out and do a video or something because the only thing she gonna say about me is and see he didn't never tell. We just finding out. He didn't let her know that like every family bicker and argue and do all kind of stuff, but he didn't let her know that he was in good. He had made his peace with all his sisters. We spent Mardi Gras together. We spent all of us did a big long four-way call on June the 4th. And we found out later that she was saying his sisters don't deal with him. No, baby, his sisters don't deal with you. They deal with him, but just not you. That's what you fail to realize. We was talking, he was calling me, calling my other sister, all of us. But I think she think in her mind, and she had ugly guy convinced that he was so unloved that it's gonna nobody gonna fight this. We got this. Just go ahead, let's do it, let's get it done. And that's just me. Like that's what I look at the straight facts. Sometimes my sisters say I talk too much. I
No,
don't.
you don't.
I just say what I feel. Now, the one thing one of my sisters tell me, well, I just don't want you to incriminate no evidence. Well, hell, he ain't in jail anyway. So what could I really mess up? He ain't never been to jail. So what can I mess up? Like what can I
Because
say
he's
that?
done that shit and got away with it, not because he's never committed any crimes. And see, that's what bothers me a lot because if you stop talking, then it's going to die out and no interest will be in it. Nobody will be interested. Nobody will know all the details around it and people will stop talking about it. You don't want that. So they got the right loud mouth, big mouth one for the job. Because with this type of thing, you got to be a talker and you got to be comfortable talking in front of anybody. And talking to the public and spreading the word, or it's going to die out. And nobody's
Uh-huh.
going to care if you don't care. And it's amazing to me. He had strong, grown sons that hung with this man, and y'all didn't beat his ass, and y'all didn't shoot him. Y'all didn't do nothing. I think he done shot your daddy in the face and tore his head off of his body, blowed it off and broke it up in pieces and broke his brains out all over his body. Y'all ain't do nothing about what kind of punk ass shit is that? Y'all grown ass men, and you gonna let this man y'all laughed and talked with and hung with walk around free laughing at your auntie, not auntie, goddamn it, auntie, talking
Mm-hmm.
about this and bringing attention to what this man did to him, and he making fun of your auntie and basically making fun of your daddy and cracking jokes about it and trying to come up and revive his dead career off of it, and y'all ain't do nothing to him. It sounds, as y'all said in New Orleans, like that do him nothing. It sounds like you with that shit. You a punk, both of y'all punks. Like, well, either you scared to do something, or damn that shit if you plotting later on to do it. Cause he didn't wait to plot later on to do that to your daddy. Your daddy's physically gone, but spiritually in his soul alive above ground, seeking out justice and talking, wanting to tell his story. That's really weird to me that you would let a bitch ass nigga do that to a 50-year old that ain't even pull no gun on him. That's cowardly as hell to do that to somebody old enough to be your father, but you ain't do it to nobody your age. And his sons is young and strong and virile, and y'all did not confront him, and y'all know him, don't travel with him, fuck with him, fuck bitches. They don't tell him what else y'all done did. And
Mm-hmm.
you let this go, and you're not appealing to the media or the court system for justice. Y'all not saying nothing, which tells me that you with that shit.
Well,
There's no way I could be friends with or cool with or look at somebody walking around here that did that to my daddy.
well, you're right. I mean, I don't know people reasoning for doing things, and all I can say is I speak for myself. And like I told my family, you know, I do my, I come to town, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. You can't worry about that. You can't worry about when it's a situation like this. You can't worry about your consequences and repercussions. I do worry about my children because they, uh, I got a 20-year-old daughter that Royce loved to argue with her on Facebook. They argue back and forth. And like I told her, you know, I'm 46. I'm gonna watch my surroundings. I'm gonna be around. I'm gonna know what's going on and the people around me and all of the above. But I told my sisters, I feel like I put myself out there every day. You know, like my life an open book. I mean it's right there. And he trying to say and dig up you. I don't care what he say about me. He could say whatever he come to his mind. I'm okay. I know that my brother needs some justice. I know that. And I know if it was me, he would get it.
But he's very feminine. To argue with women, like no men are arguing him, confronting him, or challenging him, but he's arguing with women. A grown ass man that shot her uncle and shot your brother and shot his friend's father and laughing about it like he got away with it. He know his sons and ain't nobody else gonna do nothing about it. It's very feminine what he doing. Real men don't get out and argue with women and argue with a 20-year-old, and they arguing with
But
you and trying to belittle and degrade you because he took your brother's life and you're speaking out about it and bringing attention. That's something a woman would do. It tells me a lot about this guy's character. It makes me wonder, is he on the DL? Because real niggas don't do that and take waste their time arguing with a woman. He wouldn't say anything. So he clearly knows something that we don't.
uh-huh.
And
But
it's
let
clear that his children ain't gonna ride or slide for him. They're not gonna slide for their daddy.
well, let me say this. And this has been a big issue for whoever interviewing him or whenever he step up under that page, Facebook, Theo Rodriguez is who he's under, that he went live on me about. He said, okay, my niece made a post and said, ain't no, what did she say? Ain't no come ups over here. What, how she said it? Ain't no. She said. Um, anyway, the wife commented under the page and said, you got the message. The wife commented under the message and said, uh, oh, she said, ain't no street cred over here. Mm-hmm. So in other words, my niece was saying, you don't get no street cred for doing what you did to a old man, how you did it. But she just said one sentence, ain't no street cred over here. So the wife said, that's right, ain't no street cred over here. So Theo comes, ugly guy, Royce Davison, comes under the wife and says, why don't you tell these people what really happened so they could quit lying on me? So
What?
the message is still there. Yes. So she
Please
believes,
copy it so we can have it. We can see it.
yeah,
So
I
who
got
is
my cousin.
Theo?
Theo is Royce. That's his new name. Since he killed my brother, he changed his name to Theo.
So wait a
Feo.
minute. Ugly God actually told your brother's wife, why don't you tell them what really happened so they can stop blaming me?
And he made another comment and he said, why do y'all think the immediate family not speaking out about this?
Girl, did you save this shit? Would you please go save it now? Because I got to see this goddamn shit.
You got it. And okay, so after he said, on the same post, it's probably still there because my niece is a soldier. She's not taking it down. Um, under the same post, when she didn't respond, he sent the talking emoji, and he was like 50 street 50 years old, 50 talking about street cred plus. So in other words, he was saying you 50 and you talking about street cred. Like he's really being bold about the things that he's saying. But
Let him keep talking. This is
yeah,
perfect. Save it
yeah,
all. Let him keep talking because he feel like he
you
can't
know,
be touched. And
yeah,
one
he
day
does
that
feel
will change.
untouchable. So maybe when somebody do that interview, they need to ask him, ask, what did you send a message and say, tell the wife if it's something to be told, you need to tell it because when it come down to it, you think she gonna let you go for her? You think she gonna let you? You think she gonna go for you? But he definitely said and kind of called her out. So if, at that point when she didn't say nothing, like, what are you talking about? Because
Yeah, like how
I am,
you was fucking me. That's what he wants said. Like how you fucked
yeah.
me. And how
Well,
we plot y'all plotted this together with your son that's named after his daddy, goddamn it. See, that's that's another man that know about it that was in it too.
well, I don't. Y'all got it. You got it straight from me. I haven't told. I haven't said. And a lot of people been asking me to talk, and I don't. So if I catch a message on TikTok, it's thousands of them, y'all. But if I catch it, or I catch a lot of them on my Facebook. My daughters help me look at it, and I can answer it. I will. Cause what am I? My brother dead. He ain't in jail for shooting him. So what do I have to lose? What do I have
You
to lose at this
don't.
point? You know?
You don't, because you're not saying anything incriminated about your brother. What we were talking about and him being wild and crazy like that, his behavior, there's nothing illegal about it. He's just being himself, and the police know their record about the fighting. He didn't do anything. I mean, she didn't want to leave him. He left her. I was so glad he was going to be happy and left. He said, that's when she did this to me. She didn't want to see him happy and move on. And she had so much resentment and animosity. She felt like this is her way of paying him back and getting back with him for wanting to leave and start his life over and be just sick of her. She thought he was so weak for her that he would never leave because they had been together so long, and he did. He was really done. And her ego and her being a narcissist, because at some one time he petted her, he spoiled her. He would never do that. He would never leave me. I got that on lock. I got that in check, and he was like, "Yeah, I might let you do it, but you know what? I've had all I can take now, and I'm ready to be happy for the second part of my life." He's like he had wasted his life on her, and the next part of it, I want peace in my life. And she decided that wasn't going to happen. Her ego couldn't take that.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, screenshot. And you know what really hurt me a lot in this situation is that I know my brother. Okay, I know him. We biological, same mama, same daddy. We biological. So I want people to know that I'm just not a sister that's saying something. For my brother to pull up to that house, knowing who he was, for me, him not getting out the car was him going out of his way to not have an altercation. He was scheduled to leave
Mm-hmm.
to go offshore in 2 days. The lady, the person that helped him get a job, he had to move this stuff, and he was ready to go. He was ready to go. He had one more piece before the ship leave that he needed to do. The man that was taking him offshore, Luther, he called. I talked to him. He called me and he said I felt so bad because he called me to do his last piece of paperwork the day before. If I'd have got it, he might have been gone. But I was busy at the time, and when I called him back, it delayed him another day. So he had to set up his stuff to leave. He was trying. He was trying to get everything in his life right. All the people that he had any kind of family member that he had anything going on with, it's amazing. I'm telling you, within the last 2 months, he made amends. And if he didn't, I would be telling you, I would just tell you, okay, I feel bad because I don't know. And because I ask myself sometime in them last moments, was his last words, did he say, well, God, please forgive me for all my sins or whatever, and every family member will wonder that. And it's just so hurtful. He he was at peace in a strange way. He afterwards, his life was at peace. He's not at peace with the way he died, but he was getting everything in order to be okay. You
Well,
understand?
did you say something? Was he getting ready to travel or take a trip?
Yeah, he was going offshore to work. He had got the job and everything. He was
What
leaving,
offshore?
like go work
What
on
that
a ship.
mean?
He go work on a big
Whoa,
ship.
so he was going on the water because I saw that car and it was traveling on the water. And I saw the mother also traveling across or over water with her child to get away from this so she would not be questioned and suspected. So he was actually going to live at sea.
He was going to be at sea for 3 weeks and at home for 1 week. He was going to work on a Navy ship. Yes. Like if you hear people say they work
Whoa, so he
offshore,
worked for the military?
he was going to go. And I'm talking about my brother now.
No, because I
Did you
wonder
hear
why
me?
the military was coming up with police. So he worked for the military. What did he
Yeah.
do?
Who, my brother?
Yes.
My brother just got a job. He worked industrial work. So he was going on the ship like men that work offshore, they work for sometimes they work for the Navy, they work for crews that go out and test the water. They do they have people that come out there, they clean, they well, they do pipe fitting, cook, all kind of stuff. But it's a really good job. People like say, "Hey,
Whoa.
I'm going offshore to work." Yeah, but you have to do all your background and everything. And for people that didn't know, let me say this: it was a lot of domestic stuff. My brother had cleaned his record up. She had the domestic violence charges. He was cleared to go work and do whatever he wanted to do. He worked on that. He and that's the kind of stuff that really hurt me because I know he was working toward getting away from her. You hear my voice getting elevated. I gotta relax.
We want
But
you to show
I just,
emotions. I don't want you to hold nothing back.
I know, but I'm just, I just get full when I think about how they try to kill him and just think that it's okay. Like that make me feel like they think he was okay. We didn't kill nobody. Like, and there was there was instances where Ross was calling him names. He said on one of the posters, he said, "I did y'all a favor. I did the family a favor."
What?
One of them, yeah, he said that. And then my older sister, started this thing, Justice for Renaldo. He made a post on his page, Justice for Renaldo. So I've
Because
never
he
seen
thinks he's gonna
somebody.
get away with it. Don't
He
don't
thinks
let
that.
that deter you.
Yes, he does. So, but
He's
she
trying to get
knows.
up under your skin and make you walk away. Don't.
Well, he know I ain't finna walk away. He know
You
I ain't
dig
finna.
harder and you make more people come and support you and demand justice in Mississippi. And even if you have to go over the heads of the people that are suppressing it. It will happen. The more momentum you build, the more public support you get, they're going to have to do something.
Well, I like I told, I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay, and I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do, have to do for my brother. And if it means talking, I've never done this. I ain't never when you get past my brother videos, you see me just being silly, happy, lovey, happy go person, you know, and having to speak and do things. I don't know if you know it or not, but academics did a interview about the family and stuff, and he mocked the way we talk, and I sent a message back to him.
Academics did that?
He did. Go look at it. It's horrible. He was reading like, the way we type. And, like on one of the sentences, I said, cuh, C-U-H. That's what we say in Mississippi. Cuh, come over here, like that, you know. And he was marking it like he was going through all of my pictures and videos. One of them, I was talking about her. And it was around the 4th of July. So I was in a park area walking up and down the track talking, and he hollered, "Oh, this is uh this is gun violence. You hear the guns in the background? It was fireworks, academics. Come on, dude. Like he had already said that him and Ugly God was friends, that he tried to reach out to him. I said, no, he didn't answer your phone call because he was looking for Gillian Wallow. He said it all over his page. He didn't want your interview. So he talked very highly of him, not knowing what was going on. I don't care. I hear how he talk about people. He was talking about my wording, and he read a message that my sister wrote. But the sister says here see, I'm old school. And I did feel like I was talking in my brother's voice. I am the voice for him. He's
You didn't
dead.
do
I mean,
anything wrong. You see, I'm from Georgia. People make fun of my southern accent. I'm proud of it. You keep being you. Fuck him.
yeah. So I expect him to say something negative or come on, but he could come on with it. One thing about it, I got a new skin on me once my brother got in the ground, and it's probably bad for some people, but it's probably good for some people. But I don't care what you say. Once my
Thank you.
mind is set where it's set, you could call me everything. You could say I used to sleep with Tom, Jack, and Harry. Whatever make you feel good, say it. My hair ain't been done. Somebody say your profile picture from 2002. I said, well, shit, it might be. You gonna send me a photographer over here. I just learned that they're gonna talk regardless. So, and that includes
But you want them to
academics.
talk. Because
Yeah,
whether
but
it's
not.
positive or negative, they're calling your name and they're calling your brother's name. I've learned to embrace it. Bad publicity is still good publicity. Let them talk and keep on repping and doing you. Don't change anything. I understand you perfectly. It didn't sound funny or out of order, any of your language at all, or the way your dialect or the way you use words. I don't care anything about that. I care about the truth and
Yeah.
people being
So
honest and sincere.
yes, Wild 23, you're absolutely right. Merchant Marine is the name of the job. It's an oil company. That's correct.
Mm.
Yeah. See, I knew
That's
that,
what
but
I
my
was
my
seeing.
mind what my mind wasn't there. So that's it though.
Okay, fine. Well, you go get you something to eat and get some rest. I am too. And when you want to come back, let me know. I
Well,
enjoyed it.
I want to thank you because whether you know it or not, you gave me a little bit more inspiration. I want to thank the people that listen and really, understand what I'm saying, that is really genuine, because every day is a battle with me saying, keep going, or stop. And when I heard what you said, it did motivate me. And whoever I have to go against, whatever grain I have to take, whatever attorney I have to get, whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it. And I'm probably going to be loud doing it. So if y'all see me make some mistakes or something, just inbox me and say, hey, you spelled that wrong, or you clicked the wrong thing. I'm human. I'm not trying to be nothing but that. Okay. So I'm not perfect, and I'm not, like I told academics, I don't have a platform. This is not what I do for a living. It's what you do. But I'm learning, and my voice is big. That's it. I tell
And
the
see, that's
truth.
the only
And
way you're gonna get effect. That's the only way you're gonna get change in people's response. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. And if you were nice and quiet and soft, nobody would pay you any attention. You have to be a bold, boisterous spirit to rile up the masses and get people to want to help you with this campaign, to get justice. You're soft and you're quiet. This is not going to go anywhere. They picked the right one. Your brother is proud of you. This is what he wants you to do. If he didn't want you to do it and he didn't want y'all to hear it and respond, he wouldn't have said the things to me that he said that he knew would get you all to respond.
Yes, yes. Well, I appreciate y'all. And y'all listen, she did this for me. She did not ask me for a dime. So if
No.
y'all drop her cash app, y'all for real. And I'm just saying because I took up 2 hours of her time and that I know that she's highly recommended and highly sought after. So I feel bad for that. So if you would, she didn't tell me to say this. I'm saying it myself because I know. And none of this was prompt. She didn't tell me none of this stuff before. Again, I want to say all this is from the heart and it's real. It's real. So y'all please stand by me and keep in touch with this story because it's gonna I'm gonna do some different stuff. We're gonna do some different stuff. So
Yes,
if any way you can
put
help me,
your email in the Facebook page, whatever page in the chat when you can. And if you got an email for people to contact you, or
mhm,
even I hope you do the GoFundMe still if you have one to put up there because people will support to help you get justice and lawyer fees, anything they won't mind for this because this man was innocent and he didn't deserve that and they see you fighting for him. So when you have all those things, but yeah, put your Facebook or tell us too, what's your Facebook?
it's Ty space M, and then my last name is Delavallade. It's Delavallade.
I'll put it in there too. I'll put it in the description so people can know how to reach you. And it's so
Okay.
refreshing meeting someone like you that's fighting for their loved one and just as loudmouth and bold and strong as me. I really appreciate that. And you
Well, thank you.
speaking for him since he can't physically be here and speak for himself. And he did not deserve this.
Thank you for everything, and thank y'all for listening and all the comments. I'm gonna go back through them. I appreciate it. I appreciate to know that I have people that really support us.
Yeah, you can talk to them in the comments and you can put your Facebook link in the comments and anything else you want to share because they love you. And they, like I said, we've had other people over here talking about fighting for their daughter and stuff, and they wanted us to do the work and they weren't really doing the work and getting it out. You've already done it. And when I saw that and I heard you speaking, I'm like, yeah, she's like her brother. And he's so proud of you. That's why he told me to tell you that he loved you yesterday and he loves all
Yes.
y'all getting involved because I'm telling you, even though I know it feels like that, like I was telling about my son and so many issues and so many times I was giving out and thought I was gonna die or wanted to give up because there's so much stress and pressure on my heart because nobody fought with me. I was by myself, but I didn't give up. And he's still alive when people even shot him and tried to murder my child and take him from me out of jealousy and also trying to hurt me. And he survived that. So I've been a fighter by myself. I don't have a family, nobody to support me, but I still kept on fighting. And when I saw you and I could tell that same spirit was in him and it's still in you. And that's, I had to support that. I love that. When people don't cry and make excuses, they fight. You might get tired, you might get a little disappointed, but you fight. I like that.
Thank you again, you all. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna log off, and y'all will be hearing from me.
You too. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much.